Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are doing well with this coding academy. Now we are going to start about HTML tables. How do they work? How are useful to our HTML? So you are going to follow me from everything from simple to the complex tables. Hope you are doing well, and now you are welcome to lesson 5 on HTML course. So I call it even a class 5 of the HTML element. So they are very useful. HTML tables are very useful. So hoping that you have already have an HTML related folder. To open it, you just click like this and come here to show more options. You come here to open it with VS Code Studio, you see, and it is opened. Hope to those who didn't follow the first courses, you may have come to your extension and you search for live server. If you have a live server, it is the one that will help you to show your first content on your browser, and it will act as the website. It's just a simple website that is made by HTML only, because we have seen that with HTML we present things that the viewers want to see by HTML. So don't hesitate, this is the opportunity for you, and I hope you have already seen too much of the things in this course. So we are going to start. You come back here to Explorer, or you may click Ctrl Shift E like this, Ctrl Shift E, and you come back to the file Explorer, and we are going to create the file that we are going to use in learning the table. You come here, click like this, and you call it lesson 5, lesson 05.html. Yes, like that. And here the course, the file is already created. Then you click Ctrl Shift exclamation mark to get the emmet abbreviation. Emmet abbreviation, it's a base that is built within the VS Code Studio that supplies every hierarchy on which the HTML element will be. They must be inside. So you click like this by enter, and then you come to the full hierarchy to come there on the meta here, from UTF to meta 2. Come here and see that the name is the viewer port, content width is device width, and initial scale is 1. To say that initial scale is 1, that is to mean that the entire website will full the browser, and the width of that website that is made by HTML with other language combined, they must have the width that is equal to the device width. But you may change it and say that you want at least 50%. Means that the website will be supplied by 50% on your browser. So without hesitation, we come here to the title. This title, it is one that shows the name of that HTML on the browser. You may come here and say, now we are going to deal with the tables. So to open it with live server, you come here and click like open it with live server, but shortcut of this simple open with live server, you just click Ctrl Alt P to open it with live server, and here you can see it is disapplied. It is completely disapplied, and we see that it is the tables. From the previous chapter, I said about this thing that you see. This is the AMP built-in software that I have downloaded that acts as a local server that leads and they supply every coding related things on my browser like HTML, JavaScript. All they work with this amp, but this amp is to it is mainly built for PHP, one of the best programming language that is very crucial and useful. It is one of the language that built the entire Facebook, the way you look, the way it is made of PHP, and it is the best language that helped to form entire website. But we will come later soon on that language, but now let us deal with HTML because we are beginner on coding. So we are going on the table. You come here to the body and you create the header one. This is the heading. Say that we want the table, and the Control S to save. You see the title is the supplied. So to create the simple table, you declare table element like this, and within the table we have tabular, which is denoted by tr, and inside the tabular, that is where we put the data within the table. Call that is table low, act as if they are the horizontal columns of the table. And when we are going to put the data inside the table, we come and say inside the head of the table we type th to denote the table head element. When we click like this, we may say that names th means that it is the table head element inside the table. And we come here and create it on the second column and say that table head location, and then you come here to another and say that location. Here we have work like this. Control S to save. And the table head, when you see like this table head, you see it is just the table, and it is consist of the names, the location, and the work. Yes, when you have finally did this, table header means that inside the table, the things that we start above will act as the table heads, which contain the entire message, the entire present of the message that is going to be displayed below it. This is the title inside the header, on the side of the names, location, and the work. So and you have seen that this act as the table low. So when we go to the second part, it will act as the table data inside that table low. We say table low, second table low, and we put inside the table data. Inside the head of the table, we say that we are going to put their table headers. But inside the table low of the second, we say that we are going to put their table data. So the table data must be equal to the number of the table headers that we are going, that they are inside the table, the first row of the table. So we are going to deal with the table data. Here you may say look, and he lives in location Kigali city, and here at the work where you work, you say table data. You may say school school teacher. Okay, and you can see then the table is format. You see lack is the supplied, Chikalicity, which is the location, and the work, and work. He works as a school teacher. So we are going to disapply another one, and you have seen it. You come here below the table row and you create another table row like this, int, and you create table data, not table header, because we have seen that the table header represents the bolded information, or it is just the header which presents the things that is going to follow it. So you click enter inside the table data and you start with the name like query, in the table data again, which is by location, and you say that Uganda, 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 for example, Uganda, um, you may say just Uganda because I don't know any part in Uganda. So you come again on another table data which talks about the job that is he's doing or she's doing. Came here to table data and say again that if the job that is doing is a cleaner. Control S to save and come back to your browser, then you see it is format. And if you want to make multiple, you may come here and just copy, Control C to paste, Control V, Control V, Control S, and you can see the table now is expanding downward due to the information that we are added. This thing I just copied the information and pasted it within the same table. So if you want to change it, you may come here and say Bosco, and he lives in a Nyamashiki, 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 and he works as a lab attendant. Control S. Here you may come and you may come here and say the name is Mukesha Veronica, and the address is Kibumba, and the job may be she's a soldier, and you Control S to save. Then you see the name now is supplied, but this is just a simple table, and we are going to make a very good, well-looking table that is so different from this. So hope you have seen the first version of the table. Now we are going to deal with the second version of the table. It is also simple. It is not even complicated like the way you see it. So if you want to deal with a simple thing, you may come to disapply the lines on the table and say that inside the table style This is for CSS. Border 1 pixel. Solid. For example, solid black. This is going to say that we wanted to show the border. It's just a line, and we will talk about the styling element in doing the styles when we are doing CSS. Now I'm going to show you how our table looks like. Have you seen it? Yes. And inside the table, you may say that inside this table header, and you come here and say style border 1 pixel solid lead. You see the table header, and you see that is the table header on one side. And when you want it to for several, we will see them to study while studying CSS, and I will show you everything. Now we are going to study the second version of the table. How are we going to deal with the table? Inside the column table row, we may say that we want, for example, style, and say that border style, and say that border 1 pixel solid gray. Control S to save, and you will see the table CSS inline should not be used of style to an external CSS file. You see, they are telling us that CSS inline style should not be used. We must move the style to an external CSS file. CSS inline style should not be used. We must include them inside the external CSS file. To get the external CSS file, it is very simple. It is not even complicated. You may come here and get that you want to listen 5, listen 05.c CSS. You see, when I click here, we will be already created it, but now we are dealing with HTML. So that is the simple, and I will show you each and everything while we are dealing with CSS. So we are going on the second version of the table. Let's delete it all and click like this. Control S, and we will be back here with no table. And now we are going to see how we create very good looking table that contains each and every thing. So to create the table, you must declare first the table for beta version, and inside the table you must first create the caption which declares the title of the table. Caption is the first child of the table, and you come here and say we have caption of that table. Inside the caption of that table, you may say the location of peoples. People. Control S to save the location of peoples. This is the entire header of the table, and it is the one which is called the caption. Inside the table again, at the top party, you write what we call T head, which is this. It declares that everything that is going to go inside this T head, it is the first row that declares the headings of the table. Inside this table header, you may say table row. Now we are going to put there the table row. Inside this table row, as you have seen at the first glance of these tables, it is T header, which declares the bolded information which are acting as the headers of the flowing information that is going to go column by column in a vertical way. So T head, and here we are going to say that we wanted to location of the people. We say the province 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 province, and here we came here table, and they say district. We came here, and again table here, and say district from province to district, and say we want to know even their city, and even table inside the dates. Just use this simple thing. So we have seen that we first create the table element. Within the table, we start with the caption, which will act as the main heading of the table, and inside the table again at the top part we put there table head, which will be acting as the head of the table, and inside that T head we put there an element that is table row, and it is the one which covers the table headers information. So Control S to see. You see, now we have the location of the people, province, district, and the city. So we have finally finished the first row. The second row that is going to follow, they are going to be T body, which is inside the which is that is going to act as if to act as the information, the real information that is going to be placed inside that table. You come here below T head, indicate T body like this, and inside the T body we come with the table row, first table row, and we put there what table data, not table headers, and we begin with the province. May say East province, province like this, and they say now I'm in district, we just see and they say table data again, which shows the city, and it must be Nyamata. Control S to save, and you will see we've got the Eastern Province, which is which is the, for the district, and the city for Nyamata. You may add many information as you want in this table body, like Control C to copy and Control V inside the body to paste, Control V to paste, Control S to save, and then you get the table that is looking like this. And by final, we come here below table body and you put there table footer like this, and we include table row inside and inside the table row put their table data. First line we will say that we are now in North Province, then location table data, which we say about district, we will say Gicumbi, like this. And then this table data which say about the city, you may say Musanze. Control S to save. So you came and inside the table footer you have seen each and everything. It is fulfilled now. So the table that is very powerful and very useful is the table that is consists of the following things. The simple table only is made of just, let's comment it like here, simple table, Control S. Let me write just a simple thing that you will be using while you are studying this course. You will, the simple table, you will say the table, and inside the table you will put their table row, and inside the table row you may put table header, and inside the table header you put their, let's say, names, table header, location, table header, and they say work like this. Control S to save. That is the simple table that is above. And when we are going to create it, below it, inside this table, this is a very complex table. This comment, you just click Control forward slash, and you will be commenting your text that you are going to write inside this VS Code Studio. It will show you each and everything and every step that I use it. And you come here going below this work and say table head, and you come again and get the table row. But here put their table data, which is like arena. We have table data, which is acting like a location, like in Nyanza, like this. And then you come here to the work that she's doing, indicate the table data. She's a minister, for example. of church. Control S to save. And you have seen then Elena Nyanza, Minister of Church. Noneho you come again to this Minister of Church, and again you create another table law. You say, for example, I want another table data which says which is the name of the person, like Tuishime, like this, and even table data that consists of that it contains the location of that person. Let's say Rwamagana. Control S, and even the work that this person is doing. We come here to table data to say that let's say that she's a doctor, like this. Control S to save, and now you can see the second the second table now is formed. The first simple table is formed, and now below the complex table I may put here header to say that this is complex table. Control S to save, which contains the caption, table header, table body, and even table footers. But this doesn't contain those things. It is just the simple table. Let's write it here so that we see it while simple. A table. Control S to save. Yes. Now it is done. This is the simple table. This is the complex table. The spanning parts of the table, to say that you want to low span the table. If you want to change the color of the table, you may come here and say that I want this table to style it by background color. Let's say you want it to be gray. Control S to save. You will see that the background, the color of this complex table is gray. And if we want for this table also, we say style. This style, it is just inline style. There is also an external style that I'll be using. Background color, which is like, let's say that aquamarine, and change its color to here like this, to be like this, and the lines again. It is just very simple. I want to just a very simple thing like this. Yes. Control S to save, and now you can see the simple table, the difference between the simple table and the complex table. This have the caption, but this doesn't have the caption. It is just simple table. but here it is the complexity table. So if you want the spanning, what can you do if you want the spanning part of the table? For example, let's just copy this table like this. Control C, Control plus C to copy. Let's comment that we copied the above table. For further experimentation, further experimentation. It's for further study. Yes, you can see now when you control V, Control S, now you can see we have two tables. But here we are going to study what if we want this, for example, this line to reach down here, like this, and we remove this person, but we allow this Eastern Province to extend from here to here. So you may come here and say that we want, for example, this, and we say that we want to allow it to expand. So we just say here row span, for example, to Control S to save, and see what is happening. You see now it have already broken. To want to come here and here, you see row span taking two parts from above to below, that is row span. And when you wanted it to increase in column span, we may come here like this and say that we want this to span, and they say call span by column, and they say to, for example, Control S to save. It may increase, you see here this one also expanded from not only from this position, or also to the next position for low spanning, meaning that it is here, it is on district party and even on the city party. So to say it, we may say that inside our, just create a simple style like this. You say table dot css for external usage, and we are not going to study css, just a simple to show you the table. Say our table here, say this table row border 1 pixel solid block, Control S, and you came here to reason 5 and include the style inside it. We just say link inside the style sheet and say table .css, Control S to save because it goes inside the head part of the HTML header. So when you Control save, come here, you say you want the table to have one border, one pixel solid blue, for example. Control S to see where it is there. Now I cannot see everything. Like if you want to use two part, you do like this. What is happening here? Style sheet table. You cannot see anything. I don't know what is happening. Background color. Control S to save. And let's say they must go to an external CSS file. So let's say this, and delete this. So let's to save, and then now we cannot see anything. But when we say the table, we want the background color to be teal, for example. Now you can see whenever table low with a border topic solid gray and yellow. Control S to save, and you can see that every table now has that border which is greenish yellowish. So in the camera to the table data, and we give it a simple border, 2 pixels solid, here no purple, like this, and you can see how our table is acting like. When we say a low span, you can see inside our table the low span is to say that it is going to come like from the top. It is going to span a two part, you can see. And when we see a column span, it is going to go from this party to the next party, and everything that is even located on this party, you see, without that call span. For example, we come here and say that we don't want where is that thing, those span, and say that we don't want this low span, and let's do like that without anything. You can see Eastern Province have already returned its position, but when we say a column span, you can see with column span of 2, it is already expanded from province to district, and everything that was inside the district, like here Gisela and Nyamata, have already displaced from their position. One goes to the city and another goes to Nyamata, creating another side of the column that we will be not using. If we want to allow one line to span the two to position. And if you want our table to be stable, we can go and remove this Nyamata, and we come here to Nyamata like this, and we comment it like this, Control S to save, and you can see our table is now C table. If we want this Eastern Province, the above party, to move to expand from the top to the bottom, now we are going to use what? Low span. We want it to span by, for example, 3. And when we say 3, that we move from the first box to the second box and take the third box, Control S to save, you will see that our table is already distorted and it is no longer with the same shape. So now you can see it have already taken the 3 next coming part from the top to the bottom. If you want to allow it take the entire part, we can come and remove Bugesera and the Nyamata from the same cell that we wanted to move. So thank you to follow this lesson. Continue to follow even the first part to start this HTML. It is so simple, not even complex, but it is one of the best language that is very useful for young students that who want to join the coding academy. Don't hesitate. This is the useful info party that will help you to master HTML, and it is the one that will be using to show the entire thing on the website. So be helpful to like, share, and subscribe, to comment and like and share. And remember that everything that we have talked about this is in description of every video, and you will download it for usage while you want to study while checking it. Remember to check in. So thank you. Let us follow another next coming lesson.